Hey there, I'm Scott. Welcome to my new home and my new kitchen. I want to start by saying thank you to everybody who sent me messages of support about my move from Denver to Portland. I've gotten settled, loving the new house, and this is the first video, so I hope you enjoy it. And as a lot of you know, in Portland, during the winter, it can often rain and get cold, and nothing is better on a cold, rainy night than French onion soup. It is delicious. And I want to start getting that ready and show you guys how to make it. But what you'll need in the main ingredient for this is going to be 1.5 large white onions julienne. I've already julienne 2 of them, but I wanted to take this last half and actually show you how to do that. After you've removed the skin and cut it in half, hold it with your knuckles out, and you're going to point the knife in sort of in a radial fashion and just cut into very thin slices. This is julienne. You could also do this on a mandolin if you didn't really want to do this with your knife, but this is easy and it saves you having to clean a whole mandolin just to slice a few onions. The rest of the ingredients you'll need for this are, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter plus 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and that's going to be what we saute the onions in. We're going to need a teaspoon of dried thyme and 2 bay leaves. We need 5 tablespoons of sherry. You can get that in most wine shops or in your supermarkets sometimes. You'll also need 2 cups of beef stock and 3 cups of chicken stock. We're going to need some salt and pepper to taste. And then for plating, when we actually get ready to put it in a bowl, we're going to float some croutons. And I'm just taking some rolls and cut them around to make a little disc and toasted those in the oven. And then you'll also need 1 cup of finely grated Gruyere cheese or Swiss cheese if you don't have Gruyere, can't find it. And mix that with 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Mix all that together. That'll go over the bread on top of the soup. You'll toast it. You'll see. It's delicious. So I'm going to turn on a large soup pot and get this heated up. And you'll notice in some of these videos that I'll be doing in this kitchen, I have a really great gas range behind me, but I love induction. It's the way that you can cook by not using a lot of heat. It's actually, the heat's generated through magnetic energy. And it's a really efficient, great way. A lot of new kitchens, you'll see induction cooktops, and they're fantastic. So to this, I'm heating up. I'm going to go ahead and add the 4 tablespoons of the butter and a couple of gloves, 2 tablespoons of the olive oil. And as soon as this melts, I'm going to add our onions to it and get those sauteing. So our butter has melted into the olive oil. I'm going to add the onions to that. And it's going to look like a whole bunch of onions. But trust me, you really want that many. It's going to give a great flavor, and these are really going to cook down nice and slow and create a really sweet, savory taste that you get from French onion soup. So to these onions, I just want to add a little sprinkle of some sea salt. Medium grind is fine. And let these go. And I don't want the heat too high. I don't want to, brown these. I want them to caramelize, but over a really long period of time. So I'm turning it down to probably a medium low. I'm going to turn them occasionally around with a spoon and let them go probably 20 minutes or so. I'll check back in once they get to the state that they need to be. Okay, so it's been about a total of 25 minutes over medium to medium-low heat. You can see how nicely golden brown these got, and that's exactly what you want. No burn, no nothing. If you do overcook them and get them brown or charred, they'll add a bitter flavor to the final soup and it will not be good. So I have my sherry here, the 5 tablespoons. So I'll pour that in. We're going to deglaze the pan, getting up all those brown bits or fond from the bottom. And let that alcohol completely cook. It'll cook dry. It smells so good already, just the onions and the butter and the sherry. Yeah. Okay, at this point I want to add a little bit more salt. Remember that was a lot of onions. We're going to be salting a lot of broth actually as well. So a few pinches of that. And some pepper. If you were doing this traditional French, you would use white pepper. I actually use a tricolored pepper, red and green and black and white, so it's 4 colors. I like the flavor better than the white, that's why. But if you wanted a clear soup or a clear orange soup, use the white pepper. Get all that combined. You'll taste this at the end right before serving. So to that, we're going to add our chicken stock and our beef stock, as well as our bay leaves and the dry thyme. So all this is going to get stirred up, and we're going to let this simmer for about an hour over a very, very low heat. And then we'll come back in an hour and get everything all plated up. Alright, the soup is just about done and it smells fantastic. The first thing we want to do is remove these 2 bay leaves out of there, because no one wants that in their bowl of soup. What I've done is taken a sheet tray with 2 large bowls. This will make probably 6 small portions of soup or 4 large portions. And what I want to do, make sure that the bowl that you use is oven proof. That's important because all this is going to go into the oven to broil it or brown it. You're going to fill this. Make sure you get some of the broth and some of the onions. And fill it up about 3/4 of the way, or like I said, for a large portion. Okay, so those go on your sheet tray. Then you want to take your croutons, and if you have like a large enough baguette, you can probably get around to cover the entire thing. Mine was a little small, so I'm going to use 2. They're going to float right on the top. And on top of that, you want to get a nice, healthy dose of the Gruyere. And I put some Parmesan cheese in there just to get a little extra nuttiness to the cheese. That's not by any means necessary. That is going to go right on there. Okay, these are going to go right under the broiler until they're nicely browned. I can't give you a minute because every broiler is just a little bit different. Keep your eye on them, do not let them burn, but put those under the broiler. When they get nicely browned, take them out and they're ready to serve. Alright, the soup just came out of the oven and is looking delicious, but to go along with this, I'm going to make a really simple, easy French style dressing. Not French in the term of like what you buy in the grocery store, just French flavors. So I have a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, freshly squeezed. And to that I'm going to add about a tablespoon or so of some tarragon vinegar, and that's going to give us a nice French flavor to this. Just a little bit of salt, probably 1/4 teaspoon of salt. A few grinds of pepper. And in the bowl here I have some freshly washed and rinsed, dried off arugula, which is in season right now in the winter. And it is fantastic and a great alternative to other lettuce you find in your market. Alright, so to this lemon juice and vinegar, I'm just going to drizzle in probably 4 tablespoons or so of a really good extra virgin olive oil. Get that nicely turned around. And we're just going to put that right over the arugula. Give it a good toss so everything gets covered with the dressing, and then that is ready to serve. Alright, we're going to get the salad right beside the soup. It looks fantastic. It's a nice cold winter's night meal, and give the soup a taste. I love the combination of the onions and the bread and the cheese. You guys, you have to try this. It is fantastic and a French classic. As always, thanks for watching. Please feel free to email me, and I have a new email address. It's scottinoregon@comcast.net. Please feel free to email me, say hello. Let me know if you'd like to see a recipe prepared for you. I'll be happy to do it. All right, take care. Bye.